Hello, I'm Sharon and this is Trio.of.Witches Tarot, and this is take 2 of part 8 of all my decks A to Z, and this will be my decks N through R. So let's get to it. In this Moonlit Fae bag is the Noble Art Tarot, which is from Make Playing Cards, and I will provide a link. The creator who created this deck created it because they wanted the Tarot of Delphi, and it's out of print, and I don't think they're ever going to reprint it. But this is a really beautiful deck, and there's a lot of cards in here that are cards that's beautiful. That's really nice. Artwork that I always wanted in a tarot deck, like this one. I think that's an excellent choice for the Queen of Cups. And then there's another one like that. This one is also in, what is it? I'll put the name because my mind is blanking. It's the landscape ones. That's really nice for the Priestess. There's a lot of really, really good choices in here. Find the other one. The Star. It's nice. Not my favorite. I don't know that I would have chosen that piece of art for it. It's a nice Devil. Nice Strength. Just trying to go through this. It's gonna be a long video. Nice Seven of Cups. The World. Very nice. Ace of Cups. Yes. That. Love that piece of art. Always want it. Magician, and some of these seem very familiar. Like this feels very familiar to the Victorian Romantic, so I don't know if that's in there or what. And I really like these backs, really nice. So that's the Noble Art Tarot. There's no guidebook, just the deck, but it's RWS. And this is the Napo Tarot, which I trimmed after I filmed this the first time. So I don't have video of what it looked like prior to trimming it. I can try and find an example and put it somewhere on the screen with this. So this comes with a little white book. It's printed by US Games, and it's Argentinian, and so they've incorporated a lot of really cool stuff into it. And the back of good cards are not my favorite, but they do explain what that is. The cross is a symbol of the 4 suits in the deck, the 4 cardinal points, the 4 elements, the 4 evangelists, the elements of nature. So probably more than you wanted to know about the backs. It is very, very cool art style, and this feels very thothy. It is very thothy. Thothy. I love this Magician. So you get through these, you get an idea of this art style. And some of these faces remind me of the faces in the majors in The Eye of the Soul. Cool Death. Cool Devil. Don't always like the Devil, but I love when the Devil is crazy like that. Nice Star. Really like this deck. And then we get to the minors, and they have the Thoth keywords on them. You have the number here, and then it doesn't say wands, you just know it's wands because there's wands in it. And even though they have Thoth keywords, they're RWS imagery for the most part, which I find very cool. Don't want to go through this whole thing. Just wanted to give you an idea of what the art is like and what to expect on the minors. You can take or leave the keyword that's on it. You know, I know what my meaning is, but I also like to know what the creator of the deck, what they had in mind for the meaning of it. And then I, you know, kind of add that into the soup of meanings until I come up with, in a reading, what I think it is. So yeah, it had a white border, which you saw, I'm sure, because I should have put it up there. And I think it looks way better like this. It's more the size of a Fournier deck now. So I really like the size. It's very convenient, you know. More of a travel size almost. Anyway, that's the Napo Tarot. And this is the Northern Animal Tarot, of which I have the 1st and 3rd edition. So the 1st edition is bigger and on a different kind of cardstock. And an extra card with it. So the extra cards actually have a different color edging for some reason. Probably should edge this so it's all even and the same, because that bugs me. And has this little guidebook, which is the same for both, pretty much. Those are the backs on that. And then this is the 3rd. So I don't have the tuck box. I have the tuck box, but I have it stowed away because it was starting to fall apart for that. So this one comes in this. It's very chunky. It's a different cardstock and it's a different size than the 1st edition. It's a lot more slippery. It keeps trying to get away from me. It has different backs, which I like better. Don't love these backs. And it also has a guidebook. So you can see it's a different size and different color, but the content is the same. And it's kind of small, but I can use my reading glasses to read it. Like, it has a different cover. So this is more of a papery cover. This one has more of a cardboardy cover. It's almost like the cardstock. So that's the difference in those guidebooks. And then that's the difference in the backs. And that's the difference in the size. So this 3rd edition is tarot size, regular tarot size. And I don't have this one in order. But it doesn't matter, we're not doing a side by side. I've done that before. There's otters in it. It is anthropomorphic. So if you don't like that, this really just reminds me of just children's books, artwork. So cute. And I don't hate anthropomorphic, so I like this. These are really slippery. These are not. These are more of a linen, that thinner linen, like almost like a game crafter, but it's a larger size. And when this one came, the 1st edition, it smelled so bad that I had to air it out for a couple weeks. This one doesn't smell like anything to me. So that was nice. I don't know what that was about, the smell on this deck. I find it to be very charming. It's still RWS, but it's animals. I like that. I like both of these. And then the extra cards. Let's get to the extra cards. Don't know if they have the same number of extra cards or not. I think they do not. I did a full side-by-side of this one, so, but here you can see the difference. It's really changed. I mean, it's the same card, but this one's hardly visible. These are upside down. I think this is only in this deck. Pretty sure that's Star, and this one, yeah, there we go. Bigfoot guy. I think there's phases of the moon. This is only in this deck. These are upside down again now. I don't know what happened there. It all turned around. Yes, there we go. There's that star. And then this is the same as this. And then some spread cards. And then there's 2 Hierophants in both of these. So those are the 1st and 3rd edition of the Northern Animal Tarot. So now we're in the O's, and this is the Oak, Ash, and Thorn Tarot. It comes in this really nice embossed tuck box. This is one of the better quality tuck boxes. And it comes with some keyword cards. It also has a PDF guidebook, which I have downloaded and printed. So it's in a binder. So those are the backs. Really beautiful backs. And it's a chunky deck. Still flexible. I don't know if you can ruffle shuffle it or not. I think I've seen people that, yeah, no, it's not very bendy. And I'm sure you've seen this a million times. The hedgehog is adorable as a hermit. I love the use of the ravens and the swords and the stormy skies. And the wands are foxes. And the cups are squirrels and acorns are the cups. And the pentacles are hares. And it's only slightly anthropomorphic. There's a few where, this card, where they, like the kings and the queens and the pages are wearing crowns or have swords or are doing something not necessarily animal-like. The use of the acorns as cups kind of throws me, because I always think they should be pentacles. I don't know what you would have used as cups instead. You know, the pentacles are just like coins. You see there's a crown. Very clever, and this is just, I love Adam Oehler's work and the quality of these decks. Everything about what they do is amazing, and I was watching the 3 Fat Readers, and Stephanie Burrows was on there in the chat, and they are working on a oracle. What happened to this card? Why is it like that? Might have to ask for a replacement card. It's weird. Anyway, they are working on I'm gonna leave that one out, an oracle called Thistledown, and then they have another tarot in the works after that, which she hinted at will be magical. So I think it's going to be fairies. And that's the Emperor. Really nice. So that's the Oak, Ash, and Thorn. And this is the Orient Tarot by Alexander Daniloff, number 21 out of 800. And what is happening here? Those are the backs. So those are the backs. Very cool. And it's kind of on make playing cards. Cardstock, that's what it feels like. It's not flimsy. It has that kind of plasticky feel though, but it also feels very durable. And I just think, I love his artwork, so I wish he did more full tarot decks. He has a lot of majors only decks. And there's no guidebook for either of his decks, but they are both Smithwaite based. So unfortunately you don't get any kind of artistic input into decisions about what is in the images or any, you know, information on what they are, which, you know, I always like to have. So I like that. It's disappointing to me that we don't get that. Like, I don't know what's down here, and there's nothing to explain it to me. It's funny for the 3. So yeah, I love his decks. I love his artwork. I wish he would provide, you know, some kind of book, even if it didn't have tarot meanings, if he just kind of talked about the process and his thoughts on why he created these images this way. I would love that. I would buy like an art book. If he created one that was for this deck and the other deck, I would buy it. So anyway, that is the Orient Tarot by Alexander Daniloff. And this is Odin's Playbook. and it comes in this really nice box. And this creator, Danielle, I think that's how you pronounce it, she's the creator of the Walking Meditation, I believe, comes with the rune card in the guidebook, and the Ascension Tarot, and I feel like there's one more that I'm not remembering. So there's runes out throughout the deck, so you have a little card to explain the runes, which I really appreciate, and a very nice guidebook, and it tells you what rune is on the card so you can find it. And some of and we have upright and reversed meanings. Some of the cards have been renamed. So the wheel is the web of word, I guess that is. And we have the mother instead of the empress, and the father instead of the emperor, and some others are renamed. I'm not gonna go through it all. There's an extra card. Does it tell you what it is in here? Odin, the Allfather. So we even have, for the extra card, a meaning, which is really nice. So that is the guidebook. And the deck, I love this cardstock, and I love that it's edged in a color, just a matte. And then the court cards, so we have the chieftain, and they have a little bit different. They have this border around them. The chieftain instead of the king, and the shield maiden instead of the knight, and the ruler instead of the queen, and the poet instead of the page. And I just love this Lovers card. I love the auroras that are in this deck. And we have axes instead of swords, and horns instead of cups, and rings instead of pentacles, and staves instead of wands. And let's see, there's the rune on it. Rings up there, more runes. Father. And I really like this. I think it's really well done. I like that the runes are here. I'm curious about runes, but I don't want like a deck dedicated to them. I appreciate that they're incorporated in this. I like this world card. I appreciate when a deck adds a layer, like not too much. It's just the runes is the difference here. And some of the Viking mythology thrown in, and you can learn about it, but you can still read with the deck without knowing what that is if you read RWS or Smith-Waite. I want to keep calling it Smith-Waite. So, and I love the backs. So that is Odin's Playbook. This is the Ocean Tarot, and this creator has a dog deck and a cat deck, and currently just came out, it was a Kickstarter, I think you can get it on Etsy now, Myths and Legends, I think it is. I just have this one. And it comes with this guidebook. The print is pretty small, so if you're like me, you need your reading glasses to read this. But because it's so tiny, you get a couple paragraphs for each card, so that's nice. And it is gilded, and those are the backs. A little bit busy, but cool. And it reminds me a lot of the Anima Mundi cardstock. Maybe a little stiffer. And it is all ocean related creatures. So otters, you had me at otter. I think there's even mermaids in this if I remember correctly, or a mermaid maybe. And it's they're holding or doing things. Some of them do have like armor on or something, so they are slightly anthropomorphized. Holding a wand. That's cool. He's cool. It feels a little dark, but then when I do use it and look at it, I'm like, okay, well, it's not that. Those guys are cute. looks very serpentine, doesn't it? There's our mer person. I think it's the only one in the whole deck. I could be wrong. We're not going to look through the whole deck. This is not a walkthrough. So if you're looking for one that has ocean-dwelling creatures, this is a really good one. I think it's really well done, and I like it. Even have some birds in it. So yeah, that's the Ocean Tarot. Okay, and this is Prisma Visions, of which I have the larger book for, which I'm going to have to zoom out so we can have a look at it. Okay, and this is the big book, and it's like a two-sided book you flip over. So one side is the Prisma Visions, and the other side is the Cosmo Visions. And it is a very nice book, and this side even shows the light visions. So the light visions and the Cosmo Visions are the same, just this is the light visions, more monochrome, but it's the same art for the most part. There's a couple cards a little different. Chariot is just has a little bit of difference. And then it does show you in here the panorama. So every minor Arcana suit unfolds into a whole panorama should you decide to put them all together. There's the Prisma Visions. And then it has a full page for each card, and then the upright and reversed meanings, and a little bit of a description. And I believe it's the same for even the minors. And then it says the mirror card is the Seven of Embers. That is the mirror card in the Cosmo Visions. So they kind of relate to each other, and so it's a cool book. Somewhere, so there there's extra cards. I forget what he calls them, but they are extra cards. So you have so they're all in here. All the ones that have ever been released are in here. Mystery cards, I think, is what they're called. Strawberries, the gift, and I did buy the extra holographic. So this one had an incorrect description, so they gave you a little piece of paper for it. I did buy the holographic pack, so I do have all of these. Unfortunately, it was a different size, and I did my best to trim it down to be the same size, but it still is not the same size. And then they weren't edged in silver once I trimmed them, so that was, I don't know, I hope he releases those again in the right size. I would buy them again. So let's have a look at the cards. So I just love these boxes. Such a cool design. Inside of it's cool. And it comes with, so you don't need that big book, because it does come with a smaller guidebook, which has plenty of meaning for each card. So you do not, if you want this deck, do not feel like you need to splurge on that big book, because it's not inexpensive, and you don't need it to read the deck, to use this deck and have meanings. It's gilded in silver, and you can see like these are the extra cards, and I did my best to put silver on them, but obviously they're not gilded. So I think they're on top, so we can look at those extra cards real quick. The mystery cards. So these are holographic. And I don't think it was really expensive to get the 5 of these. So those are those. And then the cards are pretty busy, which sometimes I feel a little overwhelmed, and I can't like always make out what's happening. Like there's a cup, and there's a cup. Is there a person in this card? I can't tell for sure. There, it's I wish it was a little more clear. I'm not gonna lie. Like that's a knight, so where is the guy? Is this him right here? It's just hard to tell. And then the majors have this border on them, and they're more clear. All this swirliness, it kind of overwhelms me. I will probably keep this deck, but I don't know that I'll use it. I find the Prisma Visions is more clear, and Light Visions also is more clear on most cards. Unicorn. Some of the cards in here are more clear than the ones in Light Visions. Kind of weird. Almost feels like sometimes those, what were those books where, it's a cool start, where you had to like focus before you could see what was actually in it. It was really busy. What were those called? I don't remember. But see, like this card, there's another card that would have the 9 would have the head and something else going on in it. It's an interesting concept. I kind of feel like, though, that these need to be more clear. Because I really don't read with this much, because I find it's very taxing on my eyes to try and figure out what's happening in, you know, more than a couple cards. Like there's the guy there, but I had to work to find him. This is more clear. That one's cool, but she's hard to make out, and it's a lot. Very taxing. And there's another mystery card. Okay. The backs are cool with the eye on them. So that's Prisma Visions. This is the Pearls of Wisdom Tarot. It comes, I keep it in this bag. It was like a little shoulder bag purse. I just cut the strap off. I think it really suits it. And it comes with 2 books. So one is the guided meditations for the major arcana, and you get a lot. And I haven't really worked through these meditations. So you get that. It's not really a guidebook. And then you do get the complete wisdom of the pearls. So you get the major arcana and then the minor. So you just get a little bit, a sentence or 2 for each. And okay, so those are just keywords, and then we have more over here for the major arcana. It's kind of confusing, and then more for each of the minor. I'm not sure I understand why that is. I don't think I've ever noticed that. And then the alphabetic listings of the symbols in it. And then some spreads, which we don't have diagrams of, just descriptions of. And then there's runes and the meanings of the runes, which we just had in the Odin Tarot. So interesting. It's interesting. I don't think I've ever really studied those very closely. And it's a very big deck. I got the large one because it's a lot going on in the cards. And those are the backs. If we get a regular tarot, regular sized tarot, it is considerably bigger. So this is definitely an overhand and kind of vertical shuffle. And there you can see, so that's the magician. There's a lot going on in there, and every card is like that. It's just a lot. So you just, when you use it, you just kind of gotta focus on whatever catches your eye first. Or you could take a lot of time to study everything that's in the card, but it's just a lot going on. And a lot of color. And there's the runes. Okay, I don't think I noticed that before, that the runes are on the sides like that. Interesting. It's funny when you're doing a video that you notice things you hadn't noticed before. And there's just so much in these cards that every time I look at them, I see something new I didn't notice before. So this is, I think I got it, oh gosh, I don't think it's Make Playing Cards. Might be. Anyway, there's going to be a link. So, And there's a smaller size deck, so you don't have to get this giant one if you're worried about that. There is the smaller one, which I will also share the link for. She has many, I think like 4 different selections to order this. Anyway, I like that Ace of Cups. She looks so happy. So that is the Pearls of Wisdom. This is the Painted Tarot, which has a supplemental little kind of a zine. And I think it's extra, but it's not expensive. And it does have like short meanings for the cards. It talks more, the more interesting part of it is just the journey of the artist creating the deck, which is cool. And there's the, it comes in a tuck box, and they are bigger cards. They're very stiff. They're definitely not ruffle shuffle. And the backs are a picture of her floor after she finished painting all the paintings for this deck. So that's cool. And here's a regular tarot. So it's the same height, it's just wider. And they're very sparse paintings, I think is what I mean. And they're very close-ups of people. I love that card. But it is Smith-Waite based art. Love her so much. I love her so much. And then all of the kings are black and white. And these, I think, if I remember in the book correctly, these are actually like friends of hers, not just models, but they could be also just models. But each one of these is a large painting made for the tarot. I just feel that. There's so much emotion in that. Nice. The faces on the people are so expressive, and the colors, and there's a lot of emotion going on in these cards, at least for me. I just feel it. That's a cool Hanged Man. And that's a nice world. And that is the Painted Tarot. This is Pholarchos Tarot, which I trimmed. And it has a PDF guidebook, which I don't know if it's still available because the creator is working on a full printed guidebook that's different. This has descriptions in it, which are very interesting and totally different than the ones in the PDF. So I'm very curious what the new guidebook is going to contain. This is a very interesting deck. It's tarot, but it is based on, it's very dreamlike, and it's based on dreams, I believe. And these were full giant paintings as well. And then all of the suits are renamed, I think all of them. And then the courts are renamed, and so that you have the trail, and the trails are in black and white, even though they were painted in color, and the aces are all black and white. And I think the trails are the pages. I feel like these are the pages. So you can see the aces are, and so we have coral for cups, spirals for pentacles, wings for swords, and sparks for wands. So there's a lot of changes, but all of the majors names stay the same. But it all feels very dreamlike. And I think in the book she talks about, using this for dream interpretation. I could have just heard someone say that. I don't remember. And a lot of them have, this is one, yes, it has words in it. So the bigger guidebook, the PDF, talks about the words that are on the cards and the images, like this symbols on her arm there, more words. There's a lot going on in these, and even though for the most part they tie back to Smithwaite. A lot of them, see, like Judgment feels like the world to me, so that's very interesting imagery that I'd want to read about in the bigger guidebook. And the Hierophant, very different. 10, I think all the 10s are close-ups also. The Dreamer is the Knight, I think. And there's something about the Pholarchos being, I started to do the deep dive with Sadhana on Integrative Healing Tarot. I subscribe, so I'm just gonna have to catch up later. But she talks about how the Pholarchos are some great thing way back in the day, and they helped you with dreams or something. I'm sure I'm saying that all wrong. And the Devil, that's pretty creepy. You can see there's a lot. This is a very different deck. It's its own thing. I don't even know if you can just read it, like just say, okay, I'm gonna read this as RWS, because it's, you know, like the sun's so different. It's just so different. Anyway, that is the Pholarchos Tarot. This is the Pacific Northwest Tarot. Really nice box. And back. So it's an animal, plant and animal deck. And it has a nice matte dark green. Pretty sure it came that way. I don't think I did that. No, it comes that way. Really nice backs. They're kind of simple, but they're so elegant. Elegant is the word. And it comes with a really interesting guidebook. So it's more like a story. So you have the animal. So it's telling you there's a gray whale, or it's gray whales up there. Has some keywords, and then it kind of goes into a little story about what's happening in the card, if that makes sense. Really cool that he did that. And I know he's working on another deck that's more human-based. I was following on Instagram, but then, and let's have a look. So there's a lot of bugs in this. I think there maybe is one spider, so if you're only spider-averse, don't worry. There's a lot of plants also, ladybugs, foxes, a lot of butterflies in it, hummingbirds, more bees. So the 3, you know, you have a dead bird, but you don't have like swords stabbing it. Hermit crab. Then you have the ocean and the forest and different environs in the Pacific Northwest. I like it. Pine. So yeah, King of Cups like that. There's plenty of walkthroughs of this. Don't see it much lately, but there it is. I like it. Pacific Northwest Tarot. And this is Pagan Otherworlds, and it has a extra book that you buy separately. And there is no little white book, so if you want their descriptions of the cards and their interpretations, you have to buy this. And it's around $35, I think, extra. It's a nice book, and it also does, there's an extra Seeker card, probably at the end of the majors, and then there's the moon cards that you get with it. And let's see about the Seeker. There's the Seeker. I know he's in here somewhere. The Seeker, oh, it's the first one. Is it? Yep, there it is. Okay, that's the extra card. And then it has this bag. Tie it. And I still have it in its tuck box in here. It's not wearing out too much yet. From the bottom, seal come up. card. Oh, these must be all the... Those are all the moon phases cards. And I did edge mine in gold. This one didn't come edged like that. And those are the backs. And it is taller than a regular tarot. Let's get the tarot card out. And slightly wider. And it is linen, and it is really flexy. You can easily riffle shuffle this, but it is super, super slippery. There's the Fool. And I'm sure you've seen a million walkthroughs of this, so I don't need to do it. I've seen people that trimmed off the sides of this, and the tops, I think, because you trim off the numbers, happens in the minors. Yeah, so you can trim off the top, and you lose on your majors the number, but on the minors you don't lose anything, so then you just keep the bottom. I've seen people that have done that. I think the, what's her name? Crochet Witch Tarot. And I'm like totally blanking on what her name is. I think she trimmed it. Love that Ace of Cups. So this is a Pips with Feelings deck. You know, it's not just the number of things. There's a little bit more on it, but yeah, it's still RWS. It's not a Marseille deck. So you can still apply your meanings to it. It's really pretty. And if you get the extra book, then you get their interpretation of what's going on. They do talk about what's happening in the scene. And they did a really good job of making them expressive, I think. Yeah, I love her. We'll stop on her because she is gorgeous. Just gorgeous. So that's the Pagan Otherworlds. This is the Pythonic Tarot by Jessica Shaw, and I think she's in New Zealand. So this guidebook comes with it, and it doesn't have any pictures, but has a lot of content about each card. And in this, I think one or two of the suits are renamed. And it doesn't have a box, or I don't know what I don't think it has a box, so I keep it in this Moonlit Fae bag. And I have a backup coming. I just got my tracking info today. So I messed this up some. The edges were very chippy, and I tried many things to make it not chippy, and so this even has like a spray finish on it. So it's a little more shiny than it really is. I really like this deck. I will probably use this one as I love that star card, as my working copy, and the new one as my backup. I love that. So it is RWS based. So we have chalices instead of cups. That's not hard to remember. It's a cool moon. Crystals instead of wands? I think crystals instead of wands. No, crystals instead of pentacles. I was wrong. Crystals instead of pentacles. Wands are wands. Chalices. And blades are swords. I like the High Priestess a lot. The High Priestess is almost always one of my favorite cards. You see, you have the dark and the lights. You have the two pillars. There's only one card in this deck that kind of bothers me. You do have two deaths. You have a man and a woman, or a male and a female presenting. There's only one card in here I don't love. I love that it's Kali as that. And we may or may not run across it. There's mermaid. There's one of the chalice cards. See this, and I don't know. It just feels so different than the rest of the deck. Okay, and then she did change the name of the wheel. And And I love this Fool so much. So much. Yeah, I really like this deck, and I am very glad I'm getting a backup copy, because I don't know if she's going to print this again. Anyway, and these backs. I love these backs. I'm going to do my most beautiful backs, and this will be it. That's the Pythonic Tarot. This is the Queen Alice Tarot by Dame Darcy. There is a printable PDF. It just has some keywords, but a very short description of the cards, and it doesn't really talk about Alice imagery at all, or why, you know, she chose what she did, or anything. Like this Fool, I don't think I showed you, it's gilded, and for some reason the two halves have different bends in them. And it's pretty stiff cardstock. I think I have riffle shuffled this, but it's a little stiff. But I love Alice in Wonderland. So I love the story of Alice in Wonderland and Alice with the Looking Glass and all of that. And this one and the Baba Studio one are, out of all of the Alice decks that are out there, are my two favorite. And so I don't think I need more than 2 Alice in Wonderland decks, because I don't really, in general, go for fandom themey decks like this. See, you know, kind of take me out of the tarot. This one I think is well done. It really is moody. So it still feels like tarot to me. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody. You know, because then I start thinking about the story rather than the tarot, I guess, is my point. So that is the Dame Darcy Queen Alice Tarot. And this is the Radiant Tarot, which is another deck that came in a big box that I don't keep it in. This Moonlit Fae bag. And I have trimmed mine. I went on a trimming spree recently. And those are the backs. And this is the very cool guidebook. So it is first a Pippish deck, and second an anthropomorphic heads on human body, kind of like what's Chris Ann's deck? Can't remember the name of it now. I just love this wheel card. So you can see there's a lot of information for each card, plus a picture of it. So this is a very cool guidebook. And it's a mass market deck, so it's not expensive. I just love that B on that. I think this is the 8. So let's get it's almost like a Fournier size, but not quite. So it's still as tall, but it's skinnier. So it was a bigger deck. And the cards had a very large white border, which I didn't like, and it's not great cardstock, I'm gonna tell you that. It feels very cardboardy. But I didn't like the large white borders. And I feel like, see, there's the Pippish. Doing this, like, released the art from that large white border that it had. And this was not a fun, I love the star card. Not a fun trim job, because not all of the art was the same size exactly, and they weren't all centered the same, so you can see where the white is different on each side, but some of them, like this one's perfect. That one is. So it was not the most fun. I love this. Like that. It was not the most fun trim job. But the moon, love that. There's a lot of cards in here I absolutely love. So there he is. Hope you can see why I trimmed it. Giant, my borders just didn't do it justice. I often wonder about choices that they make. Magician. The Fool. He's cool. So that is the Radiant Tarot. And this is the Raincoast Tarot, the borderless edition in a tin. It has a game on the back that you can play with the tarot cards, which I think is fun. This does not come with a guidebook. None of his decks do. He has a majors only, but it's like a 44 card deck, so it has like 2 of each. And the Crowley Tarot, which is more, it's based on Crowley, and it's photographs. It might be photographs of him in every card. I don't know. It's not for me. I edged it in this really dark, it's not silver. I'm trying to think of what color that is. Anyway, those are the backs. Not my fave. It's like playing cards, cardstock, but it has like a very slight linen feel to it. So I'm not sure what cardstock it is. It's very flexible and durable, and you can ruffle shuffle it. And it's very weird deck. So you got the Fool up here, then you got some guy down here, and faces there. So there's like a lot of faces everywhere in it, and just weird things, maybe some nudity, but it's just, you know, people are blue, but I love this. I love how their hair, his beard and her hair tangled together. You got like the tower in the back of them. I don't know, I don't generally like weird stuff like this, but I love this deck so much. It's just right. And there's the tower. So if we get the lovers. Yeah, see? That's cool. I think that's very cool that he did that. The star and the moon. It's like 2 faces on it. The sun, one of my favorite suns of all time. It's like a little blue angel on there. And each of the suits is color coded. So you got the purple and the candles, which are the wands. And more of a blue for the cups. Oh, this one's more purple, but this orange yellow for the swords. Everything that has this yellow glow, which I think is really cool. These are the swords, and then the pentacles. And look at that, that's just so cool. I don't have desert illuminations, but I wonder how this would play with this. I use this with the Star, is it the Star Power Tarot? Yes, Star Power Tarot. This like feels like they're cousins. You will see that in the S video, because that's going to be on its own. So that is the Raincoast Tarot. This is the Relative Tarot. And it comes with an interesting, it's not a guidebook. It is to figure out your birth cards and your birth blueprint. And so I didn't really get it for this because I have the Mary K. Greer Ancestral Tarot, I think it's called, which is a really good book and I highly recommend it. And I got it, I keep it in this Moonlit Fag bag, which was designed for the antiquarian, I think. It comes in one of those big, huge boxes, which I don't store my decks in. I got it because I like the artwork and I like that it has these. So these are the associated major cards, and these are the other associated minor cards. So I do like that about it. I like the collage artwork in this very much. I don't think I showed you that it's gilded. And this is a mass market version. There is a indie version of it. I have never seen anyone put that up for sale, so I have no idea what that would cost. I just really like the collage artwork in this, so I use it as it is intended for birth cards with the Ancestral Tarot book, and not its little book. because the Ancestral Tarot has way more information on each card and what it means if it's, you know, in your birth cards. It's more interesting than this little book. I wish this little book that came with this deck was more informative. Like that card. Yeah. So I like that they did this for the Eight of Wands. That's very fun to me. I just really like the color she did in the background and the different suits. So Pentacles have that green background. Wands are this more blue. You have the green for the Pentacles. And the Cups are like sort of that purpley. Swords. Wands. So anyway, backs I don't love. They just kind of, yeah. That's the Relative Tarot. So this is the Rumi Tarot by Nigel Jackson, and it's highly sought after. This is the Turkish edition, which you can get right now for, I don't know, around $35 probably. Because the English version is in the hundreds of dollars, because it's out of print. So I have a guidebook in Turkish, which I've used Google Translate to try and translate some of it, and it comes out very oddly. And so I don't know what I'm going to do with this, because I don't know if I'm ever going to go to the trouble of translating enough that I understand it. And then all the cards. So it's kind of crappy cardstock. Not gonna lie. Let me zoom in. So the artwork is cool. And again, this is the wheel. I have no idea what that says. And then each card has some saying from Rumi on it. And I don't know what it is. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. If I'm gonna like go to the trouble of maybe whiting that out and putting English on it. And I'm not so worried about the title, because I can tell this is Wands and it is the Five of Wands. I could put a number on it. I just don't know. It's a cool deck. It's very Pippish, and as he likes to do on his decks, I have another one where he has these like little cameos in the middle, so it's Pippi with a little thing in the middle. Yeah, I honestly, I don't know. I mean, I like that it has the saying on the bottom, but since I can't read it, I don't know, do I trim it and just put a number on it? Because all of the Turkish, I have no idea what it says. I think it's cool for the majors that it has that, but I wouldn't even have a clue how to pronounce these things in Turkish. So yeah, I don't know. I have to take this out and like just play with it and seriously consider what I want to do with it. So that's the Rumi Tarot in Turkish. So that is all of my decks N through R. And wow, doing that twice was not fun. It's a lot of work. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Remember to like and subscribe and click on the bell, and please leave comments below, even if it's just an emoji or something, but I'd love to hear about your thoughts about any of these decks, what you think about the trims that I did on them, and if there's any decks in any of these letters that you know of that I don't know about. I had only one Q. Maybe there's another Q deck out there. So, thanks again for watching, and take care of yourself. Bye. Okay, so I've decided to do a giveaway for the length of all of my decks A to Z videos. So whenever I am done doing all of those videos, this giveaway will end. And it's for the Dreaming Way Tarot. It's a mass market deck. And you've probably seen this before. I'm not going to do a full flip through. It's a very nice deck. Just isn't one that I use. So I've decided to give it away. So this is open to everyone who's 18 years or older. And if you're in the US, the shipping is free. If you're outside the US, then you have to be willing to spring for the shipping, because I just can't, this is a hobby, I can't afford to ship to other countries, especially when sometimes it's like $30.